Hi there. My name is Dave Seaweed, and I'm the Indigenous Coordinator at Douglas College. I am from the Kwakiutl Nation, born and raised in East Vancouver. My father and his father before him are from Port Hardy in Alert Bay. I would like to acknowledge that I'm sharing with you today on the Kakite First Nation, which is the newest Minster band, and thank Chief Rhonda Larrabee for supporting our work at Douglas College. As is my understanding, the Word Vancouver Festival spread throughout the Lower Mainland and Fraser Valley and online throughout North America and beyond. I would also acknowledge the Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, Squamish, Kwantlen, Katzie, and Coquitlam nations. We acknowledge that we are on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish people, where we live, we learn, we play, and we do our work. 95% of British Columbia, including Vancouver, is on unceded traditional First Nations territory. Unceded means that First Nations people never ceded or legally signed away their lands or gave them away to the Crown or to Canada. I have been asked why we acknowledge First Nations territory. Many organizations, governments, and school districts have adopted the practice of acknowledging traditional territories as a way to honor and show respect to the Aboriginal inhabitants of this land, the First Peoples. This practice enables wider municipal communities to share in Aboriginal cultures and leads to better relationships and understandings. Observing this practice connects participants with the traditional territory and provides a welcoming atmosphere to the land where people are gathering. We believe that acknowledging territory is a positive step towards reconciliation, which involves a commitment to learning about and understanding the real history of Canada's Aboriginal peoples and taking responsibility for reconciliation with Aboriginal peoples in Canada. The process of reconciliation is tied to the federal government's relationship with Indigenous peoples. The term has come to describe attempts made by individuals and institutions to raise awareness about colonization and its ongoing effects on Indigenous peoples. I would encourage you all, young and old, to do a little research about where you live, work, or go to school, and in turn, find out what First Nations territory you are on so you can acknowledge when asked or for sharing at events. I wanted to conclude by mentioning the September 30th national holiday that began last year as National Day for Truth and Reconciliation on September 30th. In First Nations communities, we have been honoring Orange Shirt Day since 2013. The origins for the day come from a story about Phyllis Webstad's experience. She went to the mission for one school year in 73 and 74. She had just turned 6 years old and lived with her grandmother on the Dog Creek Reserve. They never had very much money, but somehow her grandmother managed to buy her a new outfit to go to the mission school. She remembers going to the store, picking out a shiny orange shirt. It had string laced up in front and was so bright and exciting, just like she felt to be going on to school. When she got to the mission, they took away her clothes, including the orange shirt. She never wore it again. She didn't understand why they wouldn't give it back to her. The color orange has always reminded her of that and how her feelings didn't matter, how no one cared, and how she felt like she was worth nothing. All of the little children were crying and nobody cared. We now wear orange shirts that always say, "Every child matters." I would encourage you all to wear orange shirts on September 30th and become an ally and partner for First Nations folks dealing with the residential school findings. I'm wishing you all the best during your time with Word Vancouver 2022. Stay strong and stay safe. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laifong Leung, co-founder and current chair of the Chinese Canadian Writers Association. Welcome you all to the Autumn Verses, the 12th Chinese English poetry recitation. Every year for 12 years, we invited poets from various backgrounds to share their work with us through translation. It has been a very fruitful experience. This year, marks the 35th anniversary of the Chinese Canadian Writers Association. So tonight's event is part of that celebration. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Word Vancouver for inviting us to this big event. 大家好，我叫梁丽芳，是加拿大华裔作家协会的创会副会长，现任会长。非常欢迎大家来参加今天我们的秋之韵第12届中英诗歌朗诵会。今年是我会创立35周年，所以今天晚上的活动也是今年我们庆祝活动的一部分。我趁这个机会也多谢Word Vancouver 的邀请一同举办这个活动，谢谢。我趁这个机会呢，也会感谢支持Word Vancouver 的所有的团体。Word Vancouver would like to take a moment to thank our generous donors and sponsors. We would like to give a very special thank you to SFU and the Writers Studio for this wonderful space and their continued generous support of Word Vancouver. The Canada Arts Council, the Canada Book Fund, the Canada Heritage Fund, Canada Periodical Fund, the BC Arts Council, BC Gaming, Creative BC, the City of Vancouver, DBVIA, the Yosel Watsk Family Foundation, the Hamburg Foundation, the BC and Yukon Book Prizes, the Asian Canadian Writers Workshop, CWILL, Pace and Associates, the Crime Writers Association, the Federation of BC Writers, the Surrey Library, the Vancouver Public Library, the League of Canadian Poets, the Writers Union of Canada, the Wines Festival, and many more. For a full list of our partners, please visit our website. Without you, this free festival could not happen. If you haven't already, please consider making donations through our link in the chat. Thank you. Yeah. Now we can begin our reading for tonight's program. The first poem is by Kevin Spenst. Kevin Spenst is the author of Ignite, Jabbering and Ping Pong, and Hearts Among, a memoir in verse, and over a dozen chapbooks with 3 more on the horizon to be published. His most recent writing has appeared in the anthologies Event 50, Collected Notes on Writing and Resonance, Essays on the Craft and Life of Writing. His book launch during the epidemic was featured in a book about creative practices, The Creative Instigator's Handbook. Kevin teaches creative writing at the Vancouver Community College and Simon Fraser University. 今天第一位朗诵的诗人是 Kevin Spenst， 我给他改了一个中文名字，叫史科文。他是一个多产诗人，已经出版了12个诗集，还有3本很快就要出版了。他的作品被收入有几种的选集。目前呢，他是在那个温哥华社区学院跟西门菲沙大学，他是在这2个学院大学教那个creative writing 这些教创作的他最近呢出了一本书是关于写作技巧的。好 ，please Kevin。
Thank you so much, Laifong. 谢谢你. Returning again to the book, Foreign Park. We all wake with the living. Forever after, we all soon sleep with the dead. Age axes away at mortality. Beloved by beloved, it whacks. And all we can pray is that the clingings loosed well before our body, so that we can live fearlessly at last in some new relation to the sun, amidst so many nurse logs, shading new growth, and away we go, but it's no longer us.
Thank you, 谢谢. Translation. I'll read it in Mandarin. 重温域外公园，我们一起醒着活着，但我们将与死人一起睡去。死亡砍断年兽，带走一个个亲爱的人。我们只能祈求的是放下身外牵挂，以求终于能够无惧的生活，与太阳重建新的关系，在残枝败叶中守护新生命。当我们挥别时，那已经不是我们了。Good. Okay. The second poem is written by Andrew Parkin. Andrew Parkin has been a university professor in Canada and in Hong Kong. He has published 28 books, some of which are drama criticism, and also his own original poetry. His two novels are Private Dancers and Are All Responsible Woman and Bruno's Secret. He's revising his third novel to complete this anti-terrorist trilogy. He lives in Vancouver. He's also our council member. 江安道，他是诗人、小说家、评论家。他曾经任教于 UBC 英语系，也担任过香港中文大学英文系的系主任。他出版过28本书。他最近快要完成3本关于反恐的小说。同时呢，他也是本会的顾问。因为 Andrew 今天不能来，所以呢，他的诗呢是由Kevin 来读的。So his poem will be read by Kevin.
Lonely places. We all have known, and we shall know again, the lonely places of the heart. The heart can become a stone, a poet said. Heart, green stone hid in the thickets of the self, cry amid the startled cries of all the living creatures of the wild.
翻译。孤独之地，我们已经知道，我们将再一次知道，心中那些孤独之处。心会变成石头，诗人说。心是藏在个人灵深处的绿石，与野外惊恐喊叫的一切生命一同喊叫。Now, our third poem is by Raine Li, Le Ren. Raine Lee is an essayist, playwright, and poet. She received her BA in English Literature and a minor in Asian Studies from the University of British Columbia. And she is currently pursuing an MFA degree in creative writing, also at UBC. Her work has appeared in Rice Paper, Journal of Chinese Canadian Literature, Canada Alpha, the UBC, among others. Her most recent essay won the 2021 My Generation, My Love Essay Merit Award. And her latest stage play is in the process of being produced by a Canadian theater company. Very good. Yeah. Raine?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Rise through fall. Into autumn may we fall, no longer driven up the wall. Frosted flakes render gray, all exist to melt away. In the sky clouds do cry, muddled so, can't answer why. A flower hitherto in bloom, as petals do now wither too. Like name doth fade and fall away, as leaves do too before they fray. The colors flicker like the flame, alas they go out all the same. The wind howls on right through the pine, and gales of thoughts stir what was fine. Branches chip like senses slip, unfettered soon to brave the nip. Yet lying down we feel the breeze, at last we seem to rest at ease. Drifting through the season's care, perhaps in time all shall be fair. Till Maytide's blessings flow our way, will we see the light of day. In resting here we render stay, becoming now the middle way. Where blooms be nigh and spirits high, the land they till is we who die. On embers of our raging fall, upon which they shall grow up tall, and like us come to feel a call, to join the dance from spring to fall, and learn in stride to take a fall, on and on for one and all.
谢谢. The Chinese translation will be read by Haiyang.
春秋，秋伤似已落，无力可回春。薄霜若白发，欲存终幻化。云在空中起，一迷心茫茫。花海习战言，花瓣经憔悴。思明淡飘零，如夜见刺绣。烛光无彩幽，不觉灭深秋。呼啸而过松林风，尘埃弥漫杂念空。枝桠遍地六尘断，静安解脱莫忌寒。卧睡迟到自为风，终究无碍心性通。世纪辗转四季中，岁月揭晓是否公。立春甘露影自来，再次举头望天蓝。于此安息缘逗留，顺而成为道中道。苗奋发且灵自清，身体发肤归原形。红尘石落火成镜，铁扇钝灰又成形。生生不息，念再生，起舞弄影，复春秋。轮回无口，喜自来。世世生生，庸人道。
Thank you very much. It's a very excellent translation, Margaret.
Thank you.
Yeah. 刚才我还没有用中文介绍乐人， Yeah，那乐人呢，他也写诗，也写散文，还有戏剧。他在 UBC 毕业，主修的是英国文学跟亚洲副修是亚洲研究。目前呢，他在 UBC 修读这个创作专业的硕士学位。他的创作呢，在很多英文的刊物登载，比如说那个 Rice Paper 等等啊。那现在呢，他的一个戏剧呢，就是有一个加拿大的戏剧公司正在制作他的一个舞台剧，所以这方面他也发展的非常好。我们希望他一直努力创作更多的好的作品。谢谢。
谢谢。
下面一位是黄东东他的笔名叫东东我不知道他来了没有。Is he here yet, 东东
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Good. Yeah, good. I didn't see you earlier. Sorry. Very good. Okay. Yeah, let me introduce you first, Dongdong. Dongdong is a poet and a lawyer. He has published A Lonely Sail, Song of China Seas, Born for Love, The World Starts from Heart, and Nowhere to Place. His Song of China Seas has been selected as the top 10 best ocean poems in the Excellence Award in Beautiful China World Chinese Poem Contest. 东东他是一个诗人，也是律师，他是那个创作非常旺盛的一个诗人他出版很多诗集，包括《漂泊的孤帆》、《为爱而生》、《中国海之歌》、《世界从新开始》、无处安放，并获得当代十届海洋诗歌美丽中国世界华文诗歌大赛的优秀奖。好，今天东东给我们念他的诗，请。
好，谢谢立方会长。大家好，我先从中文开始，然后给大家朗诵英文的。都是火焰，东东一季，来自西藏的歌手噶让邓真在温哥华的伊丽莎白女皇剧院举办了安萨噶让邓真爱世界演唱会，他的心头之火、西藏、千年守候等歌曲高远深邃，直入心田。唱响太阳，燃烧所有的光线，噼噼啪啪的火焰中有一座重生的雪山，把爱写到天上，任雪莲孤芳自艳，满路的灵魂在朝拜，虔诚无需可怜。终于雪山倾起，雪山天边露出红颜，一双江水般的卓玛连接彩虹下的蓝山，那水雾下的桥头织出漫天飞舞，落下穿越到历史的茫然。如果用时间，如果用光线，如果用声音，可以重演，火可以熄灭，成湖成水，未尽的燃烧，流于传唱的经典。天地都在人间，人间不再遥远，轮回或者转世，都是燃烧后的废墟，都是曾经的火焰。下面是英文的。All are fire. Dongdong. Note: Singer Garang Dengzhen came from Tibet, China, and staged at Queen Elizabeth Theatre. Ansa Garang Dengzhen Love and Peace Concert. His burning heart, Tibet, waited for 1,000 years, are very deeply moved to all the audience. Sing up the sun, burn all sunbeam, cracking fire is raging, while a reborn snow mountain carves up love into the sky. Let South cheery admire itself. All the souls are crawling and worshiping. Reverence needs not to be pitied on. Finally, Snow Mountain raises up. Snow Mountain. A beauty appears on the sky edge, a double river like Dalmas, bridging the waning rainbow. The bridgehead is under the water fog, weaving out a flying honesty, falling, transcending into the bewildering history. If time allows, if light beam allows, if sound allows, replay can be put on, fire can vanish into lake and water. Unfinished burning shall be the spread classics. Heavy and earth are all among us. Society is no longer far away. Transmigration and reincarnation all are the burned out ruins, once the burning fire. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Yeah, 谢谢，非常好 ，very good. Thank you. Our fifth poem will be read by William Chen. William has held many positions, such as news reporter, editor, television playwright, editor-in-chief of publishing companies and magazines. He graduated with a major in journalism and communication from the University of East Asia in Macau. He is currently director, manager, and editor-in-chief of two companies, Wahon Publishing Company and WNY Cultural Products Company. He currently serves as executive president of the Chinese Canadian Writers Association and vice president of the World Chinese Literature Association. And he's very prolific. He's published 30 books. 陈浩泉先生，陈浩泉，他曾经担任过记者、报纸编辑、电视台编辑、出版社和杂志编辑等等，所以他的出版经验非常的丰富啊。他是东亚大学新闻传播系毕业，现在是华汉文化事业公司及维邦文化企业公司的董事，还有总编辑、经理，也是加拿大华裔作家协会的执行会长，世界华文文学联会副会长。他出版了很多作品，有30多种之多。现在请陈浩泉。
谢谢丽芳。偶感两题，陈浩泉。 一、两颗星。人类的星空有两颗星陨落，一颗曾推动历史的车轮，一颗星没导地球的转动，一颗星重些，一颗星亮些，在每个人心中。他们做好了本分事，然后上天堂见上帝。二、雪月亮，红太阳。中秋前的月亮如一面大明镜，中秋夜的月亮是山火烘熟的蛋黄。嫦娥以吴刚举杯，邀我乘三人来把世事北美的蛋黄莲蓉月。可我没心情。当雪月亮，红太阳高挂空中，正是地球与人类灾难的日子。谢谢。
谢谢浩全。Now I introduce the translator for this poem and another poem after this, Professor Jane Walls. Professor Jane Walls is now Professor Emeritus in the Humanities Department at Simon Fraser University, where he was founding director of the David Lam Center for International Communication and the undergraduate Asia-Canada program. In the early 80s, he served as cultural attaché in the Canadian Embassy in Beijing. He has published many translations of Chinese traditional poetry and prose. His most recent book is Bird Tracks in the Air, selected poems of Wang Anshi, Song Dynasty poet. 王健教授是西门菲沙大学荣休教授，是林思琪国际交流中心首任主任，曾经担任加拿大驻中国大使馆文化参赞，也是著名的翻译家，出版很多著作。他的最近的作品是王安石的诗，那个书名是Bird Tracks in the Air， 飞鸟击王安石的诗作。好，请王教授。
谢谢梁会长。Random Thoughts on Two Topics by William Chan. First, two stars. From mankind's starlit sky, two stars fell. One star had pushed the wheels of history forward. One star had never obstructed the revolving of the earth. One star was heavier, one star was brighter in everyone's mind. They had done their allotted duties and ascended to heaven to meet with God. Go to the second one. Blood moon, red sun. The moon before mid-autumn was like a big, bright mirror. The moon on mid-autumn night is an egg yolk toasted by a mountain fire. Chang'e, the Chinese moon goddess, and Wu Gang, the Chinese Sisyphus, invite me to complete their trio. Come join us and try the North American egg yolk mooncake. But I wasn't in the mood. The blood moon and red sun hang in the sky on days of disaster for Earth and mankind.
Wow, so powerful. Thank you so much. 谢谢谢谢. Now moving on to our next poem. This poem is written by Wang Chen, and she's not here tonight, but another person, someone will read for her. Yeah, Wang Chen, teacher and Hong Kong TV screenwriter, is also an accomplished writer of children's literature and essays. She has won many awards, including the Hong Kong Biennial Award, the Chinese Canadian Literature Award, and the Global Best Chinese Prose Award. She is a frequent contributor to the local Chinese newspapers and serves as editor of Evergreen News, which is the publication of Success in Vancouver. She's also the vice chair of the Chinese Canadian Writers Association. 那陈华英是以下这首诗的作者他目前是加拿大华裔作家协会的副会长，中侨新天地的编辑。他的作品曾经获得8届香港中文文学创作奖，与2届的香港中文文学双年奖优秀奖，也得到那个第1届的加拿大华文文学奖，以及第1届全球华文散文奖非常非常好他得了好多奖他有一些作品呢曾经收入进入香港的教科书，所以他的出版也是非常的丰富，有50多种好现在我们请另外几位诗人给我们念华英的诗。好吗？没有？可能没有来还是没关系，我念他的诗微信上你说香港正值黑雨，顺驴沙电狂风，撕天裂地，洪水滔滔，淹没了地面，这地气压真令人难受，海岛要陆沉了。你说英雄树横空截断，老榕树连根拔起，火凤凰吐了一地的血，温柔的鸡蛋花落片草地，举目远望，黑沉沉的天外还是黑沉沉的天。别怕，挺起胸膛迎接雨水的冲刷吧，满途的风雨也总有晴朗的一天。满地残枝之下，沃土又长出一片鹿茸，草地上花白胡子的老爷爷向坐在小凳子上的孙儿说，从前有一个美丽的小岛，它的名字叫东方之珠。So the translation in English will be read by Dr. Jane Ross.
Thank you. Transmigration. On WeChat, you said, just as Hong Kong experiences black rain, thunderclaps, lightning, and gale force winds tear through the heaven and earth, widespread flooding inundates the land. This low-pressure system causes so much pain, even islands in the sea are going to sink. You said, Joshua trees laid flat on the ground, old banyan trees uprooted, poincianas spewing blood on the ground. Gentle frangipani litter the lawns. Looking up and gazing in the pitch black distance, there is still a pitch black sky. Never fear. Pull your chest out and welcome the scouring rain. The storms along the road will become sunny one day, and beneath the broken branches that cover the ground, fertile soil will grow a stretch of dark greenery. On lawns, a grizzle-whiskered grandpa will say to his grandson sitting on a stool, "In the past, there was a beautiful little island whose name was Pearl of the Orient." Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Dr. Jane Walsh. 谢谢王健教授。下面一首 The Seventh Poem. It's by Qing. Yeah, hi Qing. Yeah. Qing was a graduate of Fudan University in Shanghai with a literature major. She has published 2 poetry collections, The Night is Old and In Prose Flow, and story collections, Accused Crooked Biography, Black Moon, as well as the prose collection, Song to the Sea. Her poems appear in various Chinese newspapers in Vancouver and are collected in several anthologies. She won the 3rd prize in poetry in the first Canadian Chinese Literature Award. 金阳是一个诗人，是一个非常优秀的诗人也是小说家，也是散文家。他毕业于复旦大学中文系，先后出版了诗集《夜未央》《水墨横流》，还有小说集《阿 Q Y 传》《黑月亮》，以及散文集《对海当歌》。他的作品收入华文加拿大华裔作家协会的各个选本里面。他也曾经得过第1届嘉华文学奖诗歌第3名。好，现在请金阳 ，please， 金阳。
悲慨，一剑穿心，肃然涌入的凉风，无悲亦无喜，踽踽而行，钟摆停在先知先觉和后知后觉之间，蝴蝶振翅，不知不觉。无语凝噎，这一刻的沉静，龙卷风不见波澜，灯火在拼了命的喧嚣，摩天大楼自顾自地矗立起一座座墓碑。你含泪而笑的容颜，凌乱风中，恰是一场春日幽梦。撕破夜幕的只是声音吗？极细极微，犹如凝针摩擦发丝，犹如青蛇游走在草叶间，亦或是磨牙，是切齿，是易水之寒穿透骨缝。究竟是怎样一种痛，才会冷却血液，才会成就一条蛇？解放了的记忆也是声音吗？剑锋破空，花瓶炸裂，1000年前急速的马蹄声，携风带雨扑面而来，深埋在地下的尖叫，混合着鲜血和唾沫的仇恨，井喷在单膝之间。 用沉默制成黑纱，且让我蒙住双眼吧。接下去我会朗诵英文，可以吗？ Silent grief. An air pierced my heart, leaving a hole in my chest. Feel the sudden rush of cool air. No sorrow, no joy. The pendulum stops, and the very last minute, the butterfly flutters its wings before it realizes. Cry then, but do not dare make a sound. The tornado is forming desperately. Lightning screams silently. Skyscrapers line up like tombstones, like the dead. But your tearful smile, blurred by the wind, it's a dream and done. It's a fire burning my lungs. Did you hear it? Very fine. It ripped through the night, like a needle rubbing against the hair, like a snake hissing between the reeds. That is a scream buried deep underground. How thick should the silence be to form a black belt to cover my eyes? How cold should my blood be to become a viper to live? Thank you.
哇，谢谢 ，A very thoughtful poem， 令人深思的一首诗。谢谢清扬 ，Thank you 清扬。Our next poem is by Ghia Aweida. Ghia Aweida is a Lebanese-born Canadian writer. She told me that she enjoys creative writing, swimming, and reading. She also told me that her poems are enriched by Arabic and Old English poetry. 艾薇德是一个非常勤奋的诗人，他是黎巴嫩裔的诗人，他曾经出版过诗集。他跟我说，他的诗带有浓厚的古阿拉伯与英国古典诗的味道。好，现在我们来听听他念他的诗。Please, Ghia.
Sun Yat-sen Garden, in the heart of Chinatown, with Falls Creek Bog. Once a river reached by boat, now a paved pavement of all covers the tracks to discover exotic Asian plants, to observe koi swimming in waters deep, running beneath the roads. A garden of shelters, where a gazebo inviting with a bench and corners so picturesque, so exotic, leading into a tea house and meeting rooms, where lay exotic architecture, rare specimens and rare species and specimen jars, used to teach children and students and art and nature. Its outdoor entrance decorated in mosaic, showing the 12 animals called to showcase each lunar new year, carefully carved as in ancient Roman times.
Oh, thank you very much, Ghia. Yeah, the Chinese translation will be read by Hai Yang. Her pen name is Hai Yang, but her real name is Margaret Lee. Yeah. She's very low-key. She doesn't want me to say much about her, but I know that she used to teach Chinese inside the university, and now she's retired. Okay, please, Margaret. Hai Yang. 海洋，我也是。
OK，
Yeah， 请你念。
好的，
谢谢。
中山公园，唐人街中心，甲溪沼泽处，曾是船舶的河岸，如今古旧的石径，掩盖了发现奇异亚洲植物，山上马路深处有深井里的痕迹。这个可遮映的庭园，凉亭内有诱人的长椅，瑰丽诡奇的弯角，带你进入茶室客厅。那里摆设了精致的建筑与西式纸板，用来教导后代艺术与大自然。前门彩色的雕砌，展现12生肖，表达阴历年份，如古罗马的精美雕刻。谢谢。
Yeah, thank you. 谢谢，谢谢。Now coming to our last, not least, the last poem, the longest poem of tonight's presentation, and it's by Joanne Arnott. Joanne is a writer, editor, arts activist. She's very active in the community. Some of you might have heard of her. She received the League of Canadian Poets Gerald Lamport Award in 1992 and the Vancouver Mayor's Arts Award for Literary Arts in 2017. She's also a poetry mentor for the Writers Studio in Simon Fraser University. And she's also poetry editor for the magazine Event. 江主恩是加拿大华裔与本土混血的诗人，他在文学界是非常的活跃的。他也是个编辑与创作导师，曾经获得加拿大诗人联盟 Gerald Lamport 奖与温哥华市长文艺奖。他出版过多部诗集，也在西门菲舍大学教课。同时呢，他也做这个杂志 Event 的编辑。Okay, please, Joanne.
Thank you, Laifong. Song about. This is a song patterned after a song sung for centuries. Maybe you recognize it. It is a rhyming song, but the rhymes are in another language. Maybe you can hear them. It is a song sung by a native mom to her babies. Maybe you recognize her. She sang it to her baby, who sang it to her baby, who sang it. Maybe you remember her. She married nice Gaelic men. She married herself into the white race. Maybe you recognize me. She sang it to her baby, who sang it to her baby in silence. Maybe you can hear me. This is a song patterned after a song sung to a baby. Maybe you recognize it. It is a song about a sound caught in a mother's throat. It is a song about a song caught in a mother's throat. It is a song about.
Very powerful poem, Joanne. Yeah. The translation will be read by Qing Yang. The Chinese translation will be read by Qing Yang. Please.
You're muted.
Okay. Why is it no? Can you hear? somebody.
对不起，对不起，刚才是我的声音没有出来是吧？
哎，对，
那好，对不起，我没看到，我把它 unmute 了，没看见，那我再朗诵一遍。
哦，怪不得
刚才已经朗诵完了，我才发现是 mute 的，对不起，对不起。好，那我现在再朗诵。对不起
，try again。
这首歌是关于，这首歌脱胎自另一首唱了多个世纪的歌，或许你认得，这是一首有韵的歌，可是韵脚是另一种语言，或许你能听出，这是一首土著母亲唱给她婴儿歌，或许你认得她，她唱给自己的婴儿听，婴儿唱给她的婴儿，她又唱给她的婴儿听，或许你记得她，她嫁了一个盖尔族男人，她把自己嫁入白色人种当中，或许你认得我，她唱给她的婴儿听，她的婴儿之后就成寂了，或许你能听见我。这首歌来自一首给婴儿唱的歌，或许你认得它。这首歌是关于一个卡在母亲喉里的声音。这首歌是关于一首卡在母亲喉咙的歌。这首歌是关于。
哇 ，Thank you， 谢谢清明。
对不起。
That's okay。
对不起，真乌龙。
Well, we don't have that much time left, but I think we can do with one or two questions if you have, for the poets or for each other. 大家有问题吗？虽然时间不多。Any questions? I have a question. Sorry, someone say something. Did you hear what this person? No? Oh. Yeah, actually, I have one question for Raine, translator. Yeah, why did you translate Raine's poem into a 5-word line poetry?
其实是这样子的，这个诗作原先是 Raine 这个原作家呢，他是用英文的方式，那么来直接呢就写出来了。后来呢，因为要参加这个运，所以我们认为应该要把它翻译成中文。那么我们两个商量的结果呢，就是我们决定要采取这种 meaningful 的 translation， 我们用比较是意义上面的一种翻译。在翻译的时候，其实就是一种直觉。最初的原始稿子呢，还是这个 Raine 他所写出来的这个 rough 稿。然后呢，毕竟他是在这个地方所生的，在加拿大，所以他的这个中文呢，其实并不是母语。所以呢，我是这个读中文的，所以我就帮他做了一点点的认识，所以大体上是如此。
Okay, thank you. Yeah, well, because the translator, Raine's mom, is well versed in Chinese classical literature, so she chooses the 5-word, right? 5-word line, 五言诗, is the form of translation. Well, thank you very much. Any other questions? Any other questions for each other, whatever? No? No? Well, okay then. Well, maybe we can communicate with each other afterwards. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for participating in this event. Thank you very much for all your wonderful poems. I enjoyed very much translating a few of them. And now I would also want to thank the translators as well, and then those who read the poem tonight. Yeah, thank you very, very much. Thank you. Yeah. And I have to say this also, that if you like to purchase any of the books by our poets, please visit our website and also contact the Iron Door Books website as well. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you very much to all the staff and volunteers at Word Vancouver for making this possible. There are plenty of events going on still. So if you're interested, please sign up and participate and enjoy them. Okay. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. Hope to see you next year. Thank you.